Khaskhart Pasia Yetlwa Tamit Ak Spist E Pace Hulit Shetne Etched Itlu Ste Lex Hoy Lus Anlk What name Putti Ikwe Mutskulus Panis Geitneu plepslu es papami lutlen qua ben putti im ort etchen et he putti es papami yel sachem es tuti nem hope hoi lu es papami hoi lu sum ort Let us Pukulemi lu stmeltels nats emi ulti tuitus pelpelqui ulstit ichemi stmelt Good day to everyone. Today it is not that hot. Yesterday it rained just a little bit for a little while, and with that we know the fall is coming and the summer is going away, it's melting away. It will probably still be warm at times until the storytelling time, which would be November. And the fires around western Montana have pretty much died down, but there are times when they flare up, and we still have smoke close by from other areas. And it is said that the smoke will hang around until the snow flies when it dampens down the fires. Also at this time, school has started. In the different school districts, there's the young people who are into ball games, soccer, maybe not soccer, but volleyball, the young guys and the young girls, and the kids in the middle schools also. So with that, we'll go on with our show. We have our picture here, which is in the deep summer, just a real pretty picture of Mission Dam. And as we know, the month of September is called Tlospani, which is the chokecherry month. But by this time, because it's been so dry and hot, the chokecherries have ripened and are gone now. We will do a little review of what we had last time. That's the chokecherries. Qodleo untum. That's picking the wild berries. Seitlen. That's food. Many of the things that are growing out in the wild are food and medicine. They are pounded after they have been cleaned and washed. They are pounded. There's a special, well, maybe not too special, but a rock that is used to pound the chokecherries and as well as the pits inside of them. After that, they're dried. As I mentioned last week, it has been said by different people or books that the berries are pounded and mixed with dried meat and formed into cakes and make pemmican. That may be from a different culture than the Salish Pondere culture. In my time of growing up, the berries were pounded and spread out to dry in the sun without being mixed with anything. Then they're stored away. They're put away, they're stored. S'istch for the winter. S'istch. Then what is called tsinpakwe is made for a meal or addition, maybe a dessert. Tsinpakwe. That is the choke cherries boiled and stuff added to it to make a soup like. In the years just past, flour has been used to make the soup. After you've eaten that, you know it is very good tasting. So I'd like to go over those words just real quick again. Choke cherries. They've been picked. S'ilin. That's food. S'ilin. Tet and tem. They are pounded. Tet and tem. Ch'echuntum. They're dried. Ch'echuntum. Elquantum. They are stored away. Elquantum. S'istch. The winter. S'istch. S'tsinpakwe. That's the soup made from the wild berries. S'tsinpakwe. S'twakwa. That's flour. S'twakwa. Chse. Tastes good. Chse. Okay, I'd like to take a little break here for a couple of minutes. Be right back.
Some dreams are universal. Dreams that inspire us. Multiple sclerosis is a devastating disease that changes lives forever. The National MS Society does more for people with MS than any organization in the world. But we can't do it alone. To get involved, visit us online at nationalmssociety.org or call 1-800-FIGHT-MS. This is why we're here. Because nobody dreams of having multiple sclerosis.
Kakastachwele. Atskenti appels. Tsachum sus Chanel. Huit tle beyak. Kijk tle stje. These apples are near the longhouse. They are pretty ripe. That's showing that it's near fall. One of our elders says that in her day that true fall was not here until the tamaracks, where their needles turn yellow. And of course nowadays tamaracks are not called tamaracks, they're called larch. Puti ihamadleo. It's still dry out. Very dry. We've had a little rain, but not a whole bunch, and we're still concerned. I'll give you some of the words of the signs along the highway that's been redone from Arlee to St. Ignatius. I may have missed a couple, but I tried to remember all of the ones that were done. Starting going south, Sanyetlaman and Shietkus. Sanyetlaman and Shietkus. That's what is called Mission Creek. Mission Creek. Sanyetlaman and Shietkus. Of course, we know Sanyetlaman is St. Ignatius. Sanyetlaman and Shietkus. Another sign on the road is the road for the little creek just south of Mission Creek. We know as Sabine Creek, but it's called Sanyetlaman Eslim Ops. Sanyetlaman Eslim Ops. Eslim Ops means that it's a small stream. And then a little farther south, the Pistol Creek area is called Chochane. 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 This sign is coming up Ravalli Hill. As you come up the hill and you see the mountains. Sanyetlaman Umqamokos. Sanyetlaman Umqamokos. An awesome picture. And when you start down, there's another sign, and it means it's the area of the Bison Range in Tlahwench. In Tlahwench, that's the second word there. In Tlahwench. And as you get down to the bottom, to Valley, it's called Squatlaorquet. Squatlaorquet. Now, when I was growing up, it wasn't that long. It was called Squatlaw. Squatlaw. Then when you get around to Spring Creek, I didn't make a sign for those. The Spring Creek area was called Oshie and Shietkus. Oshie and Shietkus. The water comes from a spring that was near the home of a person named Oshie. That's why it's called Oshie in Shietkus. That's where the spring originates. Shawl Flats is called Nulu-Lamace. Nulu-Lamace, and I didn't make a sign for that either. Nulu-Lamace, that's because of the Shawl, I don't remember if it was Ed Shawl, it must be Ed Shawl, who had what is called iron teeth, but it must be fillings in his teeth that looked like metal. Then we get to the Jocko River in Seulkus. In Seulkus, that's the water from the area of wide trees. And that is what Arlie is called. In one of the areas there has wide trees, and that's what it's named after. But when people are just talking in just a common conversation, they just simply say in Jocko Hollow. This word means that it's a little area between two small hills, I think. On that sign there's an X with a little W. Okay. Now some of the other places where we don't have signs, but these places have schools. So this one is Huayilxa, Pablo. That's also where the site of our, what used to be called the agency, Huayilxa, Pablo. It's an area of a long line of trees, Huayilxa. Charlo, Salu, Salu. Polson, you see this sign up near Polson, in Chimkane, in Chimkane. There's a little bit of confusion as what that really, really means. After listening to a tape, at first it was thought that it meant teepee poles. You can see the tops of the teepee poles above the water. But after some study, it was determined that the end of the lake, where the outlet to the Flathead River, is shaped kind of like in a triangle. And so it's thought of like the tops of teepees. So it's just a little bit of confusion there for a time. And Jimkana, this sign is just before you go down the hill to Polson. And this one is Ronan. The word Otsk'etk means spring water. That's the actual site where water comes out of the ground. Otsk'etk. And a lot of times when people are referring to Ronan, they say Otsk'e. Otsk'e. There is a sign over the main street in Ronan. It has this up there. But if you hear someone say Otsk'e, you know that's Ronan. Now this is the word for Arlie. And that means the area of wide trees. And is the common word for that area. This is the word for St. Ignatius, Sinyetlaman. Sinyetlaman. That actually means a place where something was surrounded. In this instance, there's a story about how a herd of wild game was found there in the area, and they were surrounded and killed. Sinyetlaman. It has a shortened name, Sinye. So if you hear someone say Sinye, you know it's Sinyetlaman, St. Ignatius. Stili, that's the Dixon area. Stili. And Nayaik, that's hot springs. That word means the hot springs. Nayaik. I'll go over these again really quick. One of the people who watches this show says, "You go through things so fast." I'm sorry. Wish I could go slower. Sinyetlaman and Shietkus. Sinyetlaman and Shietkus. That's the St. Ignatius, the creek near St. Ignatius called Mission Creek. Sinyetlaman, Eslim Ops. Sinyetlaman, Eslim Ops. That's a little creek just south of St. Ignatius, Sabine Creek. Chuchkane, the Pistol Creek area. Chuchkane. Sinyetlaman, Komokos. Sinyetlaman, Komokos. That is the Mission Mountains, that mountain range. Skotl the valley area. That word actually means going down a hill to the edge of the water. Ntlahwench. That's the Bison Range area in Tlahuench. In Tlarco, Saulcus. In Tlarco, Saulcus. The Jocko River. Chutapaminaweh. That's the Jocko Hollow. Chutapaminaweh. Nulu Lemaze, that's Shawl Flats. Nulu Lemaze. Aushi in Shietkus, that's Spring Creek. Aushi in Shietkus. Huaylksa, Pablo. Salu, Charlo. Salu. In Chimkane, Polson. In Chimkane. Otskaetko. Spring waters. Otskae, Ronan. Otskae. And Arko. The Arley area, which means area of wide trees, and Sinyetleman, St. Ignatius, place where something was surrounded. Steely, Nyack, Dixon, and Hot Springs. Steely, Nyack. Lemlem Chpasiat, Nemsha Luchwichleman, Net Episte, Kumi Chesam Katluchtwe. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again next time. Hope you will all stay well till we see each other again.